I'd now like to invite our Chancellor, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, for his remarks.
What an inspiring evening. You know, as one grows old, one adds years to one's life. A morning like this adds life to one's years. So thank you very much. I'm a scientist. So you would expect me to start my talk maybe with an equation. So I'm not disappointed. There was a discussion some years ago about what is the most powerful equation that scientists have created. Somebody got up and said Newton's second law. You remember that? Force equal to mass into acceleration. You remember?
Yes.
Somebody else got up and said, no. It is Einstein, E equal to mc square. Alright? E is energy, m is mass, and c is velocity of light. And I was sitting quiet, and somebody came to me, you're not saying anything at all. So I said, no, not Newton, not Einstein. The most powerful equation is E equal to F. So they wondered what is E and what is F. I said E is education and F is future. Education is equal to future. And that's what makes this a very, very special morning. We are building our future and we are looking at our future. You represent the future of this great nation. But then you would correct me. You would say, mere education is not good enough. There has to be an opportunity, isn't it? So, I recall, I was chairman of National Innovation Foundation for almost 18 years. These are grassroots innovation, you know. Because innovation is something which is a privilege of the educated or the elite. Everyone is someone. Everyone can think. Minds on the margin are not necessarily marginal minds. Okay? So we were selecting the chief innovation officer of this, and somebody brought his own CV when he was being interviewed. I was chairing the meeting. And I saw he was exporting branding. So I said, great. How will you brand my India? So he was puzzled because he had branded a refrigerator, he had branded a car. How do you brand a nation? So I said, I will give you an idea. America brands itself is a land of opportunity. Back came the answer. Yes, sir. India is a land of ideas. Now, here is the good news and the bad news. India is a land of ideas, but America is the land of opportunity. That's where the brain drain, the migration are things that take place, isn't it? But I must tell you, there are two individuals here. You can say, you can take Indians out of India, but not India out of Indians. These are two great countries. And they are going to lead you. Deepak Jain, Mr. Marketing of the World, and you have Ravi here, one of the greatest scholars. He's not only an aeronautical engineer, but an amazing scholar who has reached sort of great heights. And again, this dais, you will see some iconic figures. Shailesh, for example, I call him Mr. Artificial Intelligence of India. And Palak here, I always talk about 3 Ps. 3 Ps, Palak would immediately remember. I used to talk about him, Pramod and Reina. You know, the Geo Institute, the way it has been created under his leadership. It is his hard work, but his purpose his perseverance, his passion. Winners never quit and quitters never win. He's a winner here. And we are there. It is an inspiring morning with inspiring dias and inspiring occasion. So coming back to this issue about India being land of ideas, but America being land of opportunity, I'm sorry, the New India is different. New India is different. We were beginning as a starting up nation. We have become a startup nation, the fastest growing startup nation. 1 year to everybody. Not exactly. To be precise, again, I am a scientist, I must get the right numbers. 42 in a year, not 52, but almost. Let me correct myself. That is the new India. That right. It's an aspirational India, it's a performing India. It is not an India which has just the potential, it is achieving that particular potential. So that's what makes it all exciting. What I want to emphasize is by beginning with our founders. You know, Mukesh Ambani, Nita, Bhabhi, Ambani, amazing individuals. They believe in not only doing well but doing good. Joe Institute is a result of their desire to sort of do that. They want to build a world-class institution, creating world-class products like what Deepak rightly said, all of you, with world-class teachers. You heard what Frank Muller said and all the other faculty that you are going to have. World-class ambience, you have seen that. But that ambience is matched by ambition, by the way, to be the best, ahead of the best. Palak, let me correct you. We don't want to create a Stanford. We want to create a Stanford Plus. We are getting there. Because aspirations are all possibilities. We have to keep them high. That is the most important part. I'm very happy, Ravi, that you mentioned about Dhirubhai Ambani. You know, I had the fortune of meeting him from a very modest beginning. Today, Reliance has become the biggest enterprise in India, all right? But it was all driven by the inspiration, that confidence, that self-confidence. You talked about our dreams have to be bigger. Yes, that was a very important goal. But he always used to say, think fast, think ahead. Ahead was the key. I remember meeting him once when he hosted my guru, my teacher, Professor M.M. Sharma, after he got a D.Litt from Bombay University. And I remember our Zahira complex was done on schedule, basically. So I congratulated him. And you know what was his response? He said, for what are you congratulating me? So I said, sir, for being on time. He said, no, I don't like to be on time. I like to be ahead of time. Remember, this is extremely important. All right? You are not going to be a follower. You are going to be a leader. You are going to be ahead of time. So there is a responsibility on all of you, which the founders bring to you because of the values that they had, and therefore the aspirations they will have from all of you. There's a special responsibility. Being the first batch is fantastic. There is only first, by the way. First is only one. Yes. The rest follow, isn't it? So therefore, what is going to be our responsibility is what we have to basically understand. I've interacted with Mukesh Bhai now for almost 3 decades. It's incredible. You know, he believes in doing well and doing good. Doing well is doing good business. Of course, runs a big enterprise, but also believes in doing good. How many of you know that in terms of corporate social responsibility, the amount of money that is spent in India, number one is Reliance, the highest. So that is the principle of doing well and doing good, giving back to the society. But he is ahead of that. He believes in doing well by doing good. You understand the difference? I'll tell you what that means. That means you do business by which the masses at large benefit. Look at Jio, for example. What does Jio do? It gives you the best technologies, 4G LTE, very affordably, 4 rupees per GB data, the cheapest in the world. Voice is free. And we have almost 500 million customers benefiting from that. And you can see that Digital India is creating the kind of difference that I talked about, basically. So it is doing well by doing good. The other thing that is very special about him, and I'm just mentioning this, so that his dreams are audacious. I think people get stuck. Like, for example, we talk about green hydrogen, new energy, green hydrogen and all that, etc. The kind of targets he has put for himself, he wants to be ahead of the rest of the world. And he has put a target, which is again 111. What is 111? 1 kg of green hydrogen for $1 within 1 decade for 1 billion people. You can just imagine. I was in Australia as Sir Louis Matheson History Professor. Australia is ahead of all the world currently. And even they have set a target of $2. We have set a target of $1. So that is audacious, basically. He is, I would like to call him as an exponential inspirator. Exponential is the key word. He wants India to do 10 times better but be 10 times cheaper. Affordable excellence, as we call it. That is where you will get also education, which is excellence, world class, but very affordable. That's sort of thing. I'm talking about Dhirubhai, I'm talking about Mukesh Bhai, just to say as to the builders of these great institutions and therefore the expectations from us. I'll make 2 more points and I will close. There was this Reliance Innovation Council of which I was a chairman for 10 years. And we had great people, Nobel laureates and others as a part of that. And we always used to discuss about how we can be ahead and what we can do. And one day there was a discussion between me and Mukesh Bhai. And Mukesh Bhai said, Doc, we must leapfrog. And then we said, oh, hold on. Why does the frog leap? He leaps because he's afraid of the predators. And he jumps a few feet. And then we said, should we be doing that? Because we are afraid of the competitors, we jump a few feet and again jump a few feet. Or should we pole vault? The size of the pole is the size of our aspiration. Alright, how far you can go. And that gave birth to a program called Beyonders. Young people who were able to think beyond the realms of possibilities. So, for example, in February 2007, India was 156 among 231 nations in mobile data consumption. We did not leapfrog from 156 to 100. We pole vaulted to number 1 position, and we hold that position today. And that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do in new energy now, green hydrogen. Alright? So this is the kind of aspiration, this is the kind of inspiration. So every time you enter the Jio Institute, you have to remember the founders and what they represent in terms of values and in terms of the aspirations, basically. I like to end by giving what I like to call as 5 Mashelkar mantras. I'm an old man. On 1st January, I'll be celebrating my 80 years. So I've learned a lot. have made mistakes, and from that also I have learned a lot. So I'll give you 5 Mashelkar mantras which I have learned in my life. The first is, you don't determine your birth, to whom you are born, where you are born, on what day you are born, under what conditions you are born. You don't determine that, isn't it? But you determine your destiny, you determine your future. Dhirubhai Ambani had a quote on this. He used to say, if you are born poor, it is not your fault. But if you ain't poor, it is your fault. Alright? So remember, your aspirations are your possibilities. Keep them high. Okay? That's the first part. The second part we also mentioned about this, and Dhirubhai also mentioned about this in different words. Like instant coffee, there is no instant success. Nothing in life comes easy. There is no substitute to hard work. In my own life, I work 24/7, day after day, month after month, year after year, and I will continue to do so till I breathe my last. The only suggestion I have is that work hard in silence. Let success make all the noise. That is very important. The third part is 3 qualities you have to imbibe in yourself: innovation, compassion, and passion. Innovation, compassion in the heart, empathy, and passion. Our South African student, I'll relate sort of a story to you based on innovation, compassion, passion. You know, I was the chairman of the committee to look at CSR South Africa post Mandela, Nelson Mandela years, and so on and so forth. And I saw that it was very white dominated institution, as you remember. And we had all these PowerPoint presentations, brilliant PowerPoint presentations, etc. So I saw lots of innovation, I saw lots of passion, but I did not see the compassion. All right? I'm talking about several years ago, of course. So following day, I said, nothing doing. I would like to see the compassion part of it, the have-nots, you know, inclusion, and so on. And I said every slide must show innovation, compassion, and passion, all the 3 elements. And can you believe it? The title of the report became Innovation, Compassion, and Passion. Not only that, for 2 or 3 years, they used to carry on their visiting cards, innovation, compassion, and passion. That is extremely important. Empathy is very, very important. You must develop that. Emotional intelligence, very important. The fourth one is about you will keep on knocking on the doors of opportunity, they don't open, you get frustrated. Don't do that. Open your own doors. Now you say, what do you mean by that? Let me tell you about this. 1976 I came back, I remember, and you know, India was a poor country, not $2,000 GDP per capita, $100 GDP per capita. And I wanted an equipment, Weisenberg reorganiometer, because I was trained in geology and non-Newtonian fluid mechanics. I wouldn't get it. Then, what do? That door was not opening. I could have sat there. I said, what is the only equipment God has given me? This. And I went into mathematical modeling and simulation. Opened my own door. 77 I started the work. In 82, I got the highest science award that India gives for under 45, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. Right. So just imagine that I sat just like that and waited for 2 years what would have happened. I opened my own doors. So please remember that. And the last point I'd like to make is there is no limit to human achievement. There is no limit to human imagination. Accepting the limit that you put on yourself, basically. You know, today while I was driving from Pune, I saw an Italian, 98-year-old, has got his second master's degree from University of Palermo, topping the list in history. 98. So there is no limit, so as to say, accepting the limit. So there is a personal story I would like to end with, actually. And that personal story is like this. I became Fellow of Royal Society, FRS. For scientists, it is supposed to be, after Nobel Prize, there are a couple of prizes that are honors which are most important. It is FRS. You sign in the same book where Newton has signed, by the way. And in 360 years, only 3 engineering scientists from India have signed in that book. I happen to be one of them. Okay? So I got Professor C.N.R. Rao, Bharat Ratna Professor C.N.R. Rao. He's my guru, mentor. So I said, sir, I have become a I thought he will congratulate me warmly and say, well done. He said, what was his response? Not bad. I got disappointed. Then I became Fellow of US National Academy of Science. There are only 7 Indians. And Ravi will know the importance of that. I have phoned him up. Again, not bad. Then a couple of other honors, American Academy of Arts and Science. There are again 6 or 7 Indians who have got it from 1760, by the way. Again, I got it the same. I got frustrated because every time you would say not bad. Then I said, sir, what? So whether you are 18-year-old or 98-year-old, like the young man, Italian man that I talked about, every day in the morning, please get up and say, my best is yet to come. Maybe today is the day it will come. And my best, not just for myself, for my society, for my nation. That has to be the way we have to go forward. I want to wish you all the best in your journey ahead. All right, as I said, aspirations of your possibilities, the opportunities are absolutely infinite for you. Education is the best gift that you have been given. And you might fault me for giving an equation but not proving it. I'll prove it to you. The fact that I'm standing here is a proof. I'll explain to you why. I was born in a very poor family. Deepak Bhai and I have had similar backgrounds. My father died when I was 6. I was in a village called Mashelkar. That is how I'm Mashelkar. My mother brought me to Mumbai. She did many a work to bring me up. 2 meals a day was a challenge. There are days when I had only 1 meal. I walked barefoot until I was 12. I studied under street lights. In the 11th standard, SSC, as it used to be called, Secondary School Certificate Exam, I stood 11th among 135,000 students. And still I was going to leave education because I could see my widowed mother struggle. And then came a Tata Scholarship. And the proof, if you really want, was given on the 10th March 2000. What happened on that day? It was Rashtrapati Bhavan, where K.R. Narayanan, the then president, gave Padma Bhushan, which is one of our highest civilian honor, to 2 people. One was me and one was Ratan Tata. And the interesting thing about this is K.R. Narayanan himself was born in a very poor family. He used to walk kilometers to go to his school. He used to stand outside the class taking notes because his parents could not afford tuition fee. And he got a Tata Scholarship and finally he became the president. So a Tata scholar gave Padma Bhushan to another Tata scholar and to Tata. That proves the equation equal to them. Am I right? Yes. Okay. Thank you.